Hi, everybody. I am Jessica Koch with Jessica Koch Consulting, and this is Profound Professionals Interview Series. I started this interview series in 2018 with the premise of featuring really impressive leaders in their industry who are not just really profound at what they do and the service that they provide for you and the way they help your families and your businesses with the products and services they have, but also these individuals are outstanding because they support the community and causes that benefit the world at large. Today I have the honor of having Mike Weiner of NRG and Brian Parnell, CEO of Grindstone. Hi guys, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Jessica, thanks for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I feel a little outnumbered here. I'm only the girl in the the girl on the screen. It's nice to do this on a beautiful Saturday morning. The weather out there is fantastic. I'm going to start by saying happy Mother's Day to all the amazing women out there. Mike, I would love for you to share with us a little bit about where you're from and kind of your journey as you started before you started NRG. So a little bit about you before, the picture of before.
Yeah, Jessica, it's great to be here. You and I go way back, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Before NRG, I guess high school, Pikesville, college, Towson State, studied business administration management at Towson. At one point was thinking about playing baseball, played 1 year in high school. College, for some reason, I decided not to go out. But I was always into, working with people, talking with people. And before NRG, I was in outside sales. It's in the office equipment industry for about 17 and a half years, selling thermal fax machines back in the day in the 80s when they were anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. And
the fax machine, that's like a flashback. I can hear the sound, that whining sound of the fax machine. Hey, tell me, were you actually born in Maryland? Have you always lived in Maryland your whole life?
Absolutely. I was born October 1st, 1964. I'm from Maryland. I'm a big Orioles and Ravens fan. Rooted for the Colts when I was a kid when they were in Baltimore. But
big
always,
family?
always from
Are you
Maryland.
the oldest? Was it a big family?
What's that?
Was your family big?
A lot of relatives. I have a younger brother, mom, dad, grandmother that was with us quite a bit. We did a lot of family stuff. The holidays, Thanksgiving. I'm Jewish, so we, Hanukkah. But yeah, we used to have a lot of fun, back in the day, right? With the fax
just
machines.
Two of you. You're the oldest and your younger brother?
Correct.
That comes across because I see you as that leader and that driver. That's often a characteristic of the oldest child. So after equipment, then you decided, what year did you found NRG?
I started NRG, Jessica, January of 2001. I had another networking group with someone else that we started in 1998. And in the year 2000, he approached me, said, we need to go to the internet. I said, no, we need to stay live. And in 6 months, he was out of business, and I'm here 20 years later. And now we're going to the internet because of the environment.
He was before his time. He had a vision before his time.
He was 2 decades before his time. People were not ready for Zoom.
Yeah.
We just went to Zoom about 6 weeks ago with the current environment and everything going on. But it's been a wild ride.
That's outstanding that you pivoted in that way. I really love that. I do want to take a second to say hello to our other guest, Brian. Brian, can you share with us? So you're the CEO of Grindstone, and you're going to tell us a little bit about that. But I would love for, if you don't mind, just like Mike, kind of take us back a little bit, where you're from, a little bit of your history, and kind of what got you into the seat, which I think is for quite a few years as CEO here. So will you share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Jessica. I appreciate it. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, even though that's tomorrow, but we'll take it, right? So I was actually born in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a Southern boy at heart, but I actually moved to New Jersey growing up. So,
I get the Jersey vibe from you so much stronger than a Southern boy. That makes so much sense.
The accent was neutralized out over time, spending time in the Northeast.
Yeah, I would say Southern and Jersey. That would have a neutralizing impact on an accent.
It did, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I went to a high school at Freehold Borough where Bruce Springsteen went.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was kind of really cool to go to the same school he did, even though he's older than me, so not at the same time. End up going to Towson State University, just like Mike did. Studied public relations, mass communications. I've been an entrepreneur and a salesperson since I was 10 years old, mowing yards for money and plowing snow and hustling. And it's always been in my blood, so to speak, being in sales and sales support. So
I love it too. I'm a fan. I'm a diehard. It's in my system. There's this high that you get, especially when you land a national deal. Or one of my clients recently works out of Canada, but they provide services globally. So to have like that, and really for that land deal, it wasn't even as much fun. I was talking to a girlfriend about this, and a lot of us women are really heart-centered and lovey, and I am that too. But I have to tell you, there is a part of me that puts on her female version of a Robin Hood costume, and I'm out there with my arrow, and I'm out to land that contract and split that arrow, because there is such a high, it's such a rush, right? It's exciting. And a lot of people think we're crazy and that they're completely petrified of sales. So what kind of things did you do in sales that kind of led you where you are now?
Well, I actually, probably the biggest springboard for me is back in the mid 90s, I worked for a very large debt management company. So we would help people all around the country get out of credit card debt.
Oh, so you were like Robin Hood too.
Yeah, we help people to get out of that debt. As you know, people drown in credit card debt. So I was a credit counselor back in the day, and ended up really helping this large call center grow and evolutionize the credit counseling industry. Ended up getting a lot of call center management experience, but I've always been an entrepreneur. I always love helping business owners, and I had the chance back in 2003 to take what I had learned from the call center world and help business owners. Really have a passion for helping business owners, other entrepreneurs, helping them grow. So I had a chance to start Grindstone in that capacity, doing what I had learned and I was comfortable with.
Call centers are hardcore, diehard hardcore. So the other mental image of me as more than 25 years, and I won't say how many because I try to hide the gray, but it's not working so well as we're quarantined. It is a rhinoceros in a tutu. Like that is what I had to become to be a powerful salesperson, because in the day that I was doing it, since I've been doing it for 25 plus years, no offense to you amazing men and the male leaders of the world, but I was dealing in a space with CFOs of Fortune 1000 universities and executive directors of county government and superintendents of public schools and high profile individuals, and almost 100% of them were males, and they were wondering when it was time to sign the contract where the men behind the scenes were when it was, once I've made my presentation. You did a good job with your song and dance, young lady. Now let's let the men close the deal, And so I would sell it and get kind of shoved aside. So I had to develop a thick skin and a posture. But I earned my way into some serious circles of respect and reputation. So.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So Brian, how did you meet Mike?
Mike and I met, geez, what year was it, Mike? It's been quite a while ago.
05, 06, somewhere in there, 07, somewhere mid 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, mid 2000s, give or take.
But working together. Go ahead.
With everything going on right now with the coronavirus situation, and telecommuting, it's huge. And since 2003, we were just talking about this earlier. We really created that virtual environment back then, and back then people were kind of looking at it like it was, not as acceptable as it is today. So creating all these different virtual jobs, I think is a huge positive. And I know, Mike, you've gone to Zoom. My company's been virtual since 2003, and just really taking the cars off the roads, reducing the pollution and giving those opportunities to people is a huge positive. That
is outstanding. So Mike, tell us a little bit more about how Energy can serve the business community and the families and just kind of the community at large. What are some of the things that that are the benefits of participating and playing in the NRG sandbox?
You know,
And
I'm gonna give you my favorite quote to start that. Zig
Sure.
Ziglar. You can get anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. And I've teamed that up now with law of attraction, which I've been studying for 3 years, about serving people, helping them manifest their goals, and especially today with the virus and all that stuff, having an attitude of gratitude, because those three things, along with Zig's quote, is really the mantra of NRG. You and I, Jessica, met, I think, early on when I first started NRG. I'll never forget, we met at a chamber event. I don't think we stopped talking there. But my whole thing is really, and like Brian talked about, we've gone online now with NRG. It's about serving people. It's about helping them network. It's also about being a support team, because folks today, some of them are really scared. Things have changed. It's not who moved my cheese. It's who moved the whole world now. And everything's been moved. There's no, everything's kind of been changed. So I look at my role as the leader of NRG to bring people together, to uplift them, empower them. Even in traditional America, sometimes corporations are not, they beat up on folks. And I'm really about empowering people, uplifting people. You've always done a great job with that, Jessica, with everything you've done and so forth.
give us an idea of kind of the locations you're in now and where you're headed. And then after that, just to kind of get your brain thinking about it, I would love for you to share a success story. So how are you formatted now? So how would people go to your different chapters? Where are they located? How is it working?
Yeah, so right now, great question. Right now, we're in Maryland. We have a group in Lancaster, PA, 2 groups in Northern Virginia. We are launching in Dallas this coming Tuesday. I just did a quick video on Facebook last night. We're going into North Carolina the end of the month. We're going into Tampa on June 5th, and we're going into the United Kingdom in June. So we've got a lot of growth. The best way right now, you can go through our website, networkreferralgroup.com. You can reach out to me, email mike@networkreferralgroup.com, or myself, 443-756-9656. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I really took into the social media a couple of years ago. Currently have 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. Been there for about 4 years, and Facebook. So it's pretty easy to track me down. But if you're working from home, which is almost everyone today, get a hold of me. We had a guy from Frostburg. I'll give you a success story. Yeah. A guy from Frostburg found me on LinkedIn. Normally I would have a group for him, but because of Zoom opening up the world, he came on the Columbia Twilight group. I called him after the meeting. He's like, Mike, what you're doing is great. I'm in. He joined immediately. Brian and this guy, Michael, and I have had conversations on our 3 companies now collaborating. That's a big part of NRG. How do we collaborate? How do we help each other? I always recommend that people meet with folks and ask them questions about them first. And then when they say, what do? You're on the right track.
Right. And I love we'll get into, we'll try to bounce back, because I really would love to talk about a little bit about the pinball structure, but I want to ask Brian, can you share with us a little bit? I know your company focuses on sales, and I know you come from a call center background, but can you kind of give us an idea of how you work with some clients, what the service provides, and also if you could share with one a success story as well? That's always the most interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So specifically, we conduct sales support services. It's all business to business. So if you have a product or service, you have a sales team that needs help, our company has very professional, polished people. We call them grindstone marketing agents that reach out to our clients' targeted audiences and communicate their value propositions. We set up a phone appointments, now specifically a phone appointments, as nobody's really meeting face-to-face right now. And we also drive, attendees to webinars and generate qualified leads for our clients to help their companies grow and help their sales teams convert more business. So that's our main objective. We've been doing it for 17 years.
I'm sorry. Yep. Can I just ask, with that objective being in mind, who is this best for? So really, is your audience and who you're serving larger corporations primarily, or is the local plumber and the local hair stylist or the local restaurant around the corner, are they able to work with some of the packages that you have designed? Are they, as far as a price point goes? I don't expect you to share your pricing, but
Sure.
Just give us an idea of what audience is best to work with you.
That is a great question. And we have a spectrum of options available for just about any client's budgetary situation. We do have a handful of very large Fortune 500 clients
Mhm.
that we work with, but the majority of our clients are small to mid-sized companies. And so we have different divisions within our company and resources to be able to handle just about any situation a client may be in. So we're an extremely flexible company. We provide services to help people regardless of their situation, and in a variety of different ways for sure.
So if a small restaurant who makes, we're hoping they all make it, but who's making it on the other side as Maryland begins to open, they could reach out to you and say, okay, we have this small budget. Is there something that we can accomplish with this? Or the plumber, or just the average kind of Joe business in our community, would they be able to reach out to you and say, I have this much that we could work with? Can we bring some actual customers in with that? So the return and the investment, I imagine, would be ridiculous, right? Like the amount of money that comes in from actual paying customers in direct conjunction with a sales service like yours, which, by the way, I wholeheartedly believe in. So one of the things I'm constantly teaching my clients from a sales perspective is a three-pronged process. I have them use LinkedIn, I have them send an email, I have them do research and homework on their people, and I have them make a call. And so I really strongly believe that the call needs to be a part of that formula. And so that the fact that you do that is outstanding. But I just really want to see that if there is a space for that, these people who are just kind of hobbling out of what's happening in the world and are trying to land enough customers in, that small a little bit that they're able to bring to your company and say, okay, make some magic, bring us some paying customers. Is that a viable scenario?
It is, so long as they market to other businesses. So that is our niche, is business to
Yes, I get that.
okay. But if they market to other businesses, absolutely, we'll even conduct a free consultation with them,
Sure.
go through some of the strategies that they've used in the past, look
Mhm.
at where their pain points are, and help them come up with a solution. Whether they hire us or not, we're happy to do it. We're happy to be of help to any company that's looking to grow right now, especially in a challenging time. Believe it or not, though, right now, since so many people are telecommuting and a lot of their calls are being forwarded to their home offices, our agents are able to reach more people now than they did before on specific types of
I totally believe.
yeah.
I
So it's
totally believe it. So how about a success story? Do you have something great you can tell us from maybe a smaller business, and then maybe also a larger business success story that you could think of that might be good?
yeah. Well, I would say probably our largest right now. We have a company called Sage Intact. They have a variety of partners throughout the country. We've onboarded probably 30 to 35 of their partners right now.
And
We've actually, support them also at the headquarter level, but also individually from the partner level. And we're generating a lot of great leads, sales support for them. But right now, because of everything, we're switching to more of a webinar type focus.
yeah, I love that.
Attendees to webinars via phone calls and multiple touch points via the calls and the emails and the follow-up calls. And so it's been very effective for them. That's on the larger side. We've conducted much smaller campaigns for, sometimes the CEO is the chief everything officer, right? So
Yes.
and Mike, you know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Those types of people too that are one person operations. They simply just need to get in front of a few qualified prospects to talk to them about their services. And we have generated a lot of great opportunities for those people and kept their pipelines full of opportunities and helped them. So, again, we're an extremely flexible company. We understand everybody's in a different situation. We try to be very consultative in nature with all of our clients and help them market their strategies in the best way possible with no obligation to hire us. We're simply glad to get on the phone and talk to them.
So what if you're working with someone who really is business to business focused and you're able to get them some appointments? Do you also consult with them prior to those scheduled appointments, the quality of their presentation, so that, once you hand them the apple, they don't, kill the sale based on needing a little bit of polish in that department? Because especially those business owners and individuals that they really wear all the hats, that means they might be the idea person, the vision person, really great at whatever service or product they provide the customer, but maybe not necessarily skilled with the sales piece of it, right?
Sure, sure. Yeah, we always give our clients great feedback on their marketing collateral, how they go about converting the leads or the appointments that we have. We also have strategic partners that do business to business copywriting and sales consulting, SEO, social media, content creation, and design and web design. We have strategic partners for that. So even though the outbound lead generation and sales support is our primary focus, we have kind of put everything under one roof with our strategic partners and are glad to coordinate all of that for a full encompassing strategy for our clients.
Really cool. I want us to move on to, it's kind of the perfect storm between the two of you. So Mike, you're the in person when it's available, but also virtual networking guy where you're bringing people together so that they can organically swap leads. And Brian, you kind of bring home that full circle of, it's great when you have all these contacts and you've developed all these leads from all the different organizations that you're in and the things that you're doing, but the follow-up process to get them scheduled is key. One of the things I say from every stage that I speak in and every training that I give is, if you're not there, they can't find you, meaning on the platforms and in the social media world, right? And if you don't tell them, they can't possibly know. So you've got to toot your own horn. But if you don't schedule it, it doesn't happen. And so the finding you and the telling you piece comes in with Mike's space, but then the landing the appointment and getting it scheduled so we can come home to, press hard 3 copies, sign here, right? We need to close the deal and put some revenue in our business bank accounts. Otherwise, what happens to a small business is they close. And that is what they are projecting out there. And my goal here, and it's focusing and featuring both of you, is hoping that anyone who sees this will know that you don't have to do this alone. There are fantastic organizations out there that will help you get in front of the right referral partners and create strong relationships, like Mike with NRG. And there are fantastic services out there that won't break the bank, that will give you some consultation and support, that will figure out how to manage in your budgets and do things based on project, what's comfortable within your space financially, so that you can actually achieve more customers to then scale that work with you, right, Brian? So as they have the success, start with your little seed, get some appointments from that, close those deals with your guidance and your support with a company like yours, and then be able to have that extra piece of it that you can invest back into the business and into the system and the cycle to scale it, right? That is the beauty of profit growth, is taking that information, something that is working, starting it small and growing it big. So I really thank you guys for being here and sharing that piece with us, because right now I think the businesses of our country need to hear it now more than ever before. The other thing that is the premise and the foundation of Profound Professionals, of course, is that you guys aren't just upstanding individuals, business owners, leaders in your industry, but you also care about the community and the world at large. Mike, I would love for you to kind of share with us some of the things that really make your heart sing that are totally outside of business. Can you share a little bit with us?
Sure. Brian and I talked as the coronavirus started to really hit, and we've put together not an official foundation, but an outreach. The nurses and the medical folks, they are unbelievable. I mean, they put themselves out there every day. Some of them are getting applauded. Some people just don't understand it. But Brian, being a Howard County resident in Howard County, Maryland, I've lived in the area 31 years. We've got a program we've put together where we are going to be pulling resources together. Hopefully we can do it live, but if not, we'll do it by mail and Zoom or whatever. But we've got an outreach program for Howard County General Hospital, which I believe is part of the Hopkins program now, just to let people know, hey, we're here. You've got to do other things, philanthropic things. You've got to reach out to the community. It can't just be about, the almighty dollar. It's got to be about truly serving people. And, Brian, I think with our unified Towson University background and the way Brian and I collaborate, I've had new people that want to join. And I'm like, you need to talk to Brian. And Brian doesn't get paid for that, but Brian's a true ambassador And when you support people, whether it's in business or love or, just helping people get through stuff, there's just, it sounds like a song from the 60s, but there's just not enough love going around right now. We really need to share that. We need to check in on people. I've been doing that for a while. Facebook, LinkedIn, phone call, Zoom, whatever. I've got a joint call with my boys. One of my best role is being a dad. There's just no doubt about it. You know me, Jessica's Mr. NRG and my network group, but my son Brandon, 23, and Lance turns 19 next week. I mean, that's my best role in life, being a dad, mentoring the kids, because if we don't mentor the next generation, what's going to happen? We can look at the global world, and I won't get too big on that, but I think being a dad is a big part of it. And, causes like what Brian and I have come together, and we just need to be there for each other. You're right. We've got to help small to mid-sized business owners, or they're going to crumble. And that's a big thing that Brian and I are real proud of, joining together, kind of locking arms, because we talk about those things at night, weekend. He'll call me, hey, what can we do? How do we make a difference?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and definitely the small to mid-sized business is the concrete and foundation of our economy as a whole. I mean,
absolutely,
it is us all up. And so without them, we are in big trouble. The stats that I checked last in February of 2020, we were about 3% unemployment rate, just above that. And April of 2020, we were over 13% and approaching 14%. So we really need to do all of us who are still thriving and succeeding need to step up to the plate and pull those other businesses up with us so that we all make it. Brian, I would just like to give you a few moments. If there's causes you've supported over the years or things that you've been involved in, things that you love to support, please share with us if you would.
Yeah, thank you. Like Mike said, being a dad, because I'm a dad too. I've got an 18-year-old boy who's supposed to graduate. Well, he is graduating this year, 2020, but unfortunately they can't do prom. They can't have the celebration. It's
heartbreaking.
It is. But over the years, I've been a huge Special Olympics supporter. There's something about that organization that I've really enjoyed. I've contributed to over the years. That's a big one. And, but with everything going on right now, I just can't believe how amazing that these healthcare workers are to be on the front lines. It literally is a war against this virus, and they're out there every single day putting themselves at risk to help people. I just think it's amazing. That's why Mike and I put together this program for Howard County General, and really commending the healthcare professionals. But also wanted to say that, there's a lot of, even though people feel negative right now with business, I really believe there's a huge opportunity that we can take out of all of this. Maybe there is a new norm, and the norm could be not just a new norm, but a better norm. And we're going to learn from this. I've always been a big believer that learning through adversity and failures is what has made us stronger and evolved as people. And so if we can do that with other business entrepreneurs, business owners, and just people in general, and kind of look at that positive outlook, I think we're going to get through this just fine, and maybe be even stronger because of all this.
Absolutely. I agree. Thank you. Well, I want to take a second, and I know we pulled this together on a Saturday, but I'm sure, as you can imagine, pulling together three of people's schedules is a magic act. But you will find this information, whether you're seeing it on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, my site, Twitter. You'll find in the LinkedIn article all the comments, all of the information and the links to contact both of these amazing individuals will be in the comments within the article, in the description of the YouTube video. So please feel free to reach out, get their support, just to schedule a little time on their calendar to see how they can help you. I want to thank you, everyone, for watching. Please, as always, show your love with action. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And before we say goodbye, I did
real quick. Is that okay?
Yes. Before we say goodbye, I did want to ask that you guys shared one last thing. So Brian, please go.
I was just really quick here so people know. My company is Grindstone Incorporated, www.grindstone.com, 888-724-7463. I'm all over LinkedIn, Facebook, social media. Reach out to me anytime you want to. I'm glad to just talk about your ideas, how we can get you going in business again and get back up and running.
Fantastic. Thank you. So I like to, before I say goodbye, ask you gentlemen one at a time to share kind of one last gift with the audience before we say goodbye. Something along the lines of maybe an article or a quote or a book or something that you do in your personal life or your business life that you feel like has transformed you or brought you towards your success. Is there something that you could share, Brian?
I think my general flaw, I mean, I've always been a big Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You know, that's been a big book in my life. But for me, I think just learning through adversity, and I really live by the fact that it's not things that happen to us, it's how we react to it, reacting to the environment around us. And if you react in a positive way and look at the positives out of it, regardless of the adversity, the things that you're dealing with, it's going to make you stronger, and you're going to see opportunities out of it. So that's how I've tended to been successful and to live my life.
Mike, how about you? What can you share with, I know you, none of us are spring chickens on this call. You have this career and some knowledge and some wisdom that comes. My husband says it makes us wise guys or gals, but instead of wise men, you know, it's wise guys. Anyway.
You know,
inside family joke.
Yeah, you know what? And again, Brian, I really appreciate you having us on today, Jessica. For anyone watching, I want to give you a quick compliment. You are one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Sharp, intuitive. I remember we met down in your area for lunch one day years ago, and I wanted to give you a couple of names. You gave me 30, 40 names before I could give you 5. And anyone, I know you've got some really big things going on. You always do. I mean, and my respect for you as a woman business owner, as someone that just makes it. And that Robin Hood thing with the arrows I can see it. I can see it in the backyard with you and your husband and your kids. And I think you got grandkids, even though you look too young.
I'm a young hot nana. That's the story, and I'm
Brian. She looks good. I don't see any gray hair on Zoom. But you know, I think for me, really, I've had some medical issues. I'm not even going to talk about them today. I've overcome those, and I feel great, and I appreciate the support. I think really law of attraction has really changed me from a couple of years ago, because I was a hard-hitting sales guy, sold copiers, you know, and I had learned, you know, keep calling until they say yes, no, or pound Sam, Mike Weiner. And I've really bought into, and Raphael Argon has taught me through law of attraction, and I know you guys have talked now.
Yeah, I've actually interviewed him. He was fantastic.
Awesome.
I got a lot of great feedback from his interview. He is, I just tagged him. Every now and then you see me look away. I'm talking to all the people watching, I'm commenting, and I'm thanking everybody who's been on.
Awesome.
So,
but you know what? And I know you have some questions that sometimes you ask and sometimes you don't. And, you know, one of them I saw about who was your mentor? And it was my dad growing up. I mean, the reason I made the baseball team was my dad. Did I have some talent? Yes, but my dad, I mean, the days of, you know, a dad going in the backyard and hit ground balls. And Brian and I are huge Orioles, excuse me, Orioles and Ravens fan. But law of attraction, if you truly serve people, whether you're in sales, running a business, taking care of your kids, whatever, it's just different. People get that authenticity. And I would just encourage people, if you're struggling, go put a hand out, go help somebody, because it will manifest itself in unbelievable ways. When I've had rough weeks or rough months or rough years, forget about yourself from it. Who can you put an extending hand out to? And that's why Brian and I work so well together. He'll call, hey, what can I do to help you, Mike? What can I do? You know, I know you had this or that or whatever. And I think the servitude's a really big thing, Jessica, and it's missing in a lot of industries and a lot of just backgrounds. And I think if people can get that across, their whole world's going to explode. So that's kind of my thing is I've tweaked it. Am I still talkative? Yes. Am I still assertive? Yes. But it's a passion, because if you're not passionate about what you do, figure it out or go change and make, you know, I want to leave a legacy. I don't want to just be buried, you know, 6 feet up. Mike Weiner, he did something. He impacted the world. He may not have hit a grand slam for the Orioles or scored a touchdown with Lamar Jackson, but you know, he impacted people at a deep level, and that's really become my passion now.
I think you really hit a chord for me personally. So I know we're wrapping this up, and I thank you for those of you who are watching, or if you're watching the replay, hanging in there to the end with us, because one of my life missions and visions, and so that's one of the things that's been profound for me, is having not just a business vision and mission, but one for my personal life, and that is to have such an impact, such a global impact, that the ripples go so far that somehow something I did for one will help so many others that I'll never ever have the chance to meet. And fortunately, actually yesterday, and I know I'm with a bunch of guys, so I'm going to try to do this without getting sappy. If I can have where's my backbone? Let me sit a little taller. I opened my inbox in my email. Now I have, approaching 50 written recommendations on my LinkedIn, and I'm not bragging, and I also have written letters of reference on corporate letter from all kinds of huge entities, including government. But I had an individual take my Getting Started, just basic LinkedIn class, April 30th. Within 7 days, I opened my inbox. There is a video testimonial. I'm sitting alone in my home office. It's been a long, hard day. I've been pulling a lot of hours, building a lot of projects and doing things. I open up this email, and she does this video testimonial for me. And she says that within days of doing my program, I'm just implementing a few little things. She has her very first international client. She's landed a client out of the UK in London. They paid for her package and program, and she, invoice signed and sealed and delivered, right? And she was so thrilled to have that happen that she emails me this video. And I have to tell you, I literally sat behind my computer and cried like a baby, because that is the connection to the mission and vision that I see the passion in both Brian and you, Mike, that's why I share that, because now this was an individual who her expertise is knee pain expert. She works hands-on with her people. She has had to pivot, use LinkedIn, come up with an online program to help work people through avoiding knee surgery and having their knees function for them. And not only has she been able to do that in this short amount of time, it's just such an amazing success story of what's happening in the world right now. She had to completely rethink her business. And in a very short time, with a very basic class of mine, I was able to impact a life I'll never meet in London. She'll now get the expertise of this amazing person who's going to help their knee and improve the quality of their life. And who knows the contacts and the people that person in London will tell and spread to again help this person's business. And I think that's why Brian and Mike and I are in the game, because we see this big vision of, gosh, I can't wait when I get to heaven to find out who I might have helped somehow, because that is just the cool sound wave ripple effect that that people who are passionate like us are out there to do. So help someone. And you know what? Even if the smallest, I immediately then got on, I want you to tell you, and did a live testimonial for someone very quickly. So I would encourage everyone watching, if at very least, if you don't have a lot of resources or time right now, you could do a 30 to 90 second video testimonial for a business owner that has impacted your life, and you could really impact theirs, right? So is there any, I know I jumped in and shared, and I don't normally do that, but I think it connected so well with what you guys were talking about that I wanted to do that. Is there any last comments or things you'd like to say before we say goodbye, guys?
No, just again, Jessica, thank you so much. You're a wonderful interviewer. I'm pleased to be here, and we share so many synergies. I know Mike, he's an outstanding leader in what he does, law of attraction. Just like Mike, you put it great. Just go out and help people. Just put your hand out there and lift people up. And if we all do that, the energy, the positive energy is just going to be flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. You know what, Jessica, it's been great having you interview us today. Thanks for having us on. And I think, anyone watching this that's having a challenge that, you can beat things. It doesn't matter if it's health or financial or spouse or kids or whatever. We all, Brian talked about it greatly. We're all going to have stuff thrown at us. How do you handle it? And you can either handle it, you can go in the corner and cry, or you can come out fighting like Rocky Balboa. The Rocky movies will be my favorite movies to the day I die. But if you need Jessica, or you need Brian, or you need me, and you're watching this, and you don't know us, it doesn't matter. Reach out to us. You know,
Absolutely.
the information will be there from Jessica. We're here to help. It doesn't matter if we transact business or not. There's so many people. I loved your word ripple. There's so many people along the way that we ripple, and we never know the long-term ramifications. And you know what? God blesses everything anyway. You know, you don't worry. Well, I gave them a nickel. Did they give me a nickel back? Or I gave them a lead. We're not here to keep track. That's not what it's about. It's about living your life with passion and vigor and going out and serving your fellow man and woman. And, you know, just together we can make the world, you know, awesome and get through whatever the heck's going on, because the stuff's in here. It doesn't matter what's going on out there. What are you about? What do you stand for? And, you know, how do people perceive you? And we're all here to help I think that's the common thread. And the three of us, if we got together for lunch, we talk for hours because we're all on the same, we're all on the same page. Plus Brian and I like to eat a lot, but you know, we're all on the same page. So Jessica, thanks again for having both of us. Really, it's been a great Saturday afternoon, and it's been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Tom Corsides and Bruno for being online with us, and so many others who are here live with us. The comments are blowing up. We have over 15 comments. We've had lots of live viewers. I know we were 40 minutes and a little longer than my series goes. I think that we had such valuable information to share. Please reach out to these individuals. Thank you, Brian, for being with me today. It's been my honor to know you, and I'm excited about our future and our collaboration. And Mike, as always, you know, knowing you for so many years. So, yeah, you know, I always have prayers and heart out for you and your family. Happy Mother's Day, beautiful spring weekend for everyone. Until next time, stay tuned for Profound Professionals interview series. I have some treats coming out from you. We're going to be interviewing some people out of Australia and UK. We've already treated you with some great people out of Canada. So not just nationally, but globally, we're hoping to bring some support to you. So I'm Jessica Koch with Jessica Koch Consulting and Profound Professionals. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.